Did you know there was a search in the Sandia Mountains last year for Bigfoot? There sure was. Did it find any trace of that legendary beast? It sure didn't. Did you know who paid for that well-funded expedition? Well, you probably don't, but News 13 investigative reporter Larry Barker does, and it is one tall tale.
We do have cases where people have been attacked. We have cases where animals have been killed.
Bigfoot, that's never been documented. Leprechauns haven't been documented either.
Is there any other university in the United States or that is researching Bigfoot? I don't know, but I don't think so.
There's only one way to describe what's happened at the University of New Mexico: bizarre. Dr. Bob Frank is UNM's president.
I didn't know about this until you contacted us to bring it to our attention.
At the center of this controversy is a legendary creature called Bigfoot. In the animal kingdom, Bigfoot is right up there with the Loch Ness Monster, unicorns, and werewolves. According to folklore, it's a hairy, human-like beast that supposedly lives in the woods. Even though there has never been any scientific evidence the creature actually exists, UNM's Gallup campus is front and center in the hunt for Bigfoot. And leading the charge is Dr. Christopher Dyer.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it. I've had a rock thrown at me by one at night, I think, and I've certainly smelled it because they have a very strong odor.
From his office in western New Mexico, Dr. Dyer heads up UNM's Gallup campus. When he's not presiding over students and faculty, Dr. Dyer traipses through the outback investigating legendary creatures. Spend a few hours with Dr. Dyer, and he'll tell you all about the Bigfoot hairs he's collected, the suspicious footprints he's found, and the evidence he's collected.
We're talking to Nicolaius about a sighting and an encounter with one of the hairy people, as we call them up here in First Nation, who ran into a tree on his way down a hill.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Dyer claims he pursues Bigfoot only on his own time. However, a News 13 investigation finds Dyer hit up taxpayers more than $7,000 in Bigfoot-related expenses. Dave Thomas is a scientist and lecturer at New Mexico Tech.
When you're expending the resources of taxpaying citizens on what is completely pseudoscience, that's a betrayal of the public trust. That's a betrayal of the mission of the university.
In February, Dyer organized an on-campus Bigfoot conference.
It was the largest and most well-attended event in the history of this campus.
UNM shelled out thousands of dollars in advertising, airfare for the guest speakers, hotels, and per diem. Self-professed Bigfoot expert Dr. Jeff Meldrum was handed a $1,000 honorarium plus expenses.
There are these beings that have, as has been suggested, have been here for a long, long time, obviously.
The conference had everything going for it, everything but balance.
The presentation in Gallup was not balanced.
Ben Radford is a researcher, author, and managing editor of the scientific journal The Skeptical Inquirer.
Two people who have professed to be experts on the subject of Bigfoot giving this talk, this exciting talk, and yet where were the skeptics? There's many Bigfoot skeptics here in New Mexico they could have invited.
Following the two-day conference, Dr. Dyer hit the road in search of the elusive beast. It may be the first taxpayer-supported Bigfoot expedition in history. Armed with binoculars and other paraphernalia, Dr. Dyer and some of his pals headed here to the Sandias in search of the elusive Bigfoot. UNM paid for everything: hotels in Santa Fe and Albuquerque, meals, mileage, even 7 pairs of snowshoes. No students or UNM faculty were invited.
There was a field trip, and taxpayers paid for that. So you went to the Sandias to look for Bigfoot, right?
We took one day and we went up there, yeah, walked around.
Did you see Bigfoot?
No, but we looked at habitat. We didn't see it.
One member of the search party was Bigfoot believer George Harvey. So why should taxpayers pay for George Harvey to look for Bigfoot in the Sandias?
Well, he's very, very poor, actually. and his whole family is poor. So no, I don't think he could have paid for it himself.
What are the odds then that Bigfoot exists here in the Sandia Mountains?
I think the odds against would be billions to one. It makes as much sense for UNM to have a Bigfoot hunt in Sandia as it would be for UNM to host a field trip to find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Well, you know, if you want to spend the day hiking the Sandias, go for it. I would just say don't use the public's money. The track record of success for Bigfoot searches is exactly 0. It's not 1%, it's not 10%, it's not 30%, it's exactly 0. So there has never been a successful Bigfoot search.
I use discretionary funds for things that I think are of merit, and that could include field work of some kind or research of some kind. People use monies from the taxpayers to do research or to go on expeditions.
Search for Bigfoot?
For Bigfoot or whatever.
When you add it all up, since February, taxpayers have shelled out $7,458 for Bigfoot-related activities. State Senator George Munoz lives in Gallup and serves on the Legislative Finance Committee.
Have you spoken to Dr. Dyer about his interest in Bigfoot?
No, I haven't. I don't know if I can keep a straight face and ask him why he's spending this amount of money on something that doesn't really exist.
Well, how do you explain this situation to your colleagues in the state Senate?
I can't. How can I say we have a director that's hunting a mythical legend? They'll laugh me out of the room.
It's not expanding the frontier of science, it's wasting time and resources on something that is as ephemeral as leprechauns. It's really a waste of scientific resources.
What's your advice to Dr. Dyer as it relates to his pursuit of Bigfoot at public expense?
Pay back the money.
Dr. Dyer's Bigfoot expeditions at taxpayer expense may be coming to an end.
What is your direction to Dr. Dyer as it relates to field trips in search of Bigfoot?
Well, Dr. Dyer needs to be much more thoughtful about how he undertakes these activities. The type of expedition that just took place was not appropriate and won't occur in that manner again.
Larry Barker, KRQE News 13.
We have a photo gallery, Sasquatch DNA gathering video, and more on the KRQE News app.